Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of Bitcoin. Having recently crossed over 45K, looks like it's testing it right now. Uh, Seems like it could be a pretty exciting week for crypto. Oh, and also Happy New Year. This is the first live stream of the year. I do these typically Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm just doing it on Monday because yesterday we were out celebrating. And so, on the note of celebration, cheers to us, cheers to retail, starting off a new year strong. I think it's going to be a great year for us. Yeah, and so just doing these streams, taking any ticker requests that you guys have. And yeah, just hanging out for an hour or so. And yeah, we'll see where it takes us. All right. Yeah, so pretty exciting with Bitcoin. I think the ETF, I think I was reading about how it might be getting approved on January 10th. So I'm not sure if that's what this pop is with Bitcoin or if it's something else. Um, but yeah, I mean it's going to be an exciting year for Bitcoin with the halving coming up in April, and yeah, and so for me, my strategy with Bitcoin not really that exciting. I missed the bottom and stuff, and I didn't go as low as I was hoping it would, and yeah, so for my strategy for starting today is just doing weekly buys, pretty small. Really, on all honesty, $10 a week, and so I can just do that without thinking about it. And then if there's a dip, I add more, and if not, basically $10 a week is something that I'm thinking about, as like a retirement or something like that. I believe in Bitcoin long term, and yeah, but I do think that there will be a pullback at some point. And there's been a lot of talk about. Actually, I'm going to put this on the weekly time frame. A lot of talk about 48K being kind of an intermediate top, and there might be a pullback. I believe that's from a Fibonacci retracement. And so, yeah, my, you know, dollar cost average range is, whatever it is, I'm just going to be adding a little bit. But when it comes into this box, which is like, I guess, ranged, I think 36K down to 25K, this is the range that I would be adding more aggressively. Um, and if it goes lower than that, like to these lines that I had hoped it would go to during 2023, which never happened, I'd definitely be loading the boat then. But yeah, I see one person's joined. If you have any ticker requests, let me know. I just have Bitcoin pulled up because, it's the hot thing right now, having just recently broken 45K. Looks like it's hanging out around that range. I suspect that it might be, moving up to, 48K over the next week or so, because I think the ETF is supposed to be approved on the 10th, something like that. Um, yeah, and then I've got other cryptos, other coins here. One that I like, I mean, this is Doge is really what got me into crypto, and yeah, I think that basically from let's say if we look at it on the weekly time frame, if we look at it, the current price of Doge versus the all-time high, maybe it never goes back up to that level, but I do feel like it will cross a dollar at some point. And so I just think that there's a lot more potential for returns with something like Doge than there is with Bitcoin, especially because like Bitcoin is something that I want to hold and don't really want to sell. Whereas Doge, I could definitely see myself trimming at a dollar per share or a dollar per coin. Another one that I've kind of stumbled upon, Ethereum Classic. I just find this really easy to move. I have a Trezor hardware wallet, and so whenever I get coins on exchange, I try to move them off ASAP. And I have been pleasantly surprised with Ethereum Classic because the gas fees for it are minimal, just like with Doge. And so it's very easy, buy a large amount, small amount, whatever. It's pretty cheap to move it. Whereas with Ethereum, I definitely feel like there's a lot more fundamental aspects to Ethereum than something like Ethereum Classic. Uh, but it's just the gas fees are always so horrible with it. And I don't really have enough capital to accumulate enough to be able to warrant the gas fees. So I'm not really planning on picking up Ethereum because to store it securely on my wallet just costs a lot. And then I also have Litecoin here, and which actually, let's see, $75 going up to four. What kind of range is that? Uh, like 450%. That's pretty good. Check on Coupang. Let's see. I'm familiar with this. I've looked it up before. E-commerce, Korea. Okay, cool. Yes, this is a request from Nameless in the chat. What's up, man? How's it going? Happy New Year. Um, let's see. And I'm on the daily time frame here. Okay. I might take a step back, look on the weekly, and I'm gonna add this to the degen ed list. All right. Hmm. I guess I'm curious. What are you? Is there anything specific you are looking for with this? Looking to, if it's a good time to go long, or, um, yeah, I think this is pretty cool. Just from the low here for the week of May, ending May 13th, I guess, and then this, I could adjust it to that low there. Um, so that's 898. Thank you. Yeah, it's this is kind of my New Year's celebration. I don't have too many friends where I live, so this is like the fun night for me, I guess. Um, but yeah, it's been a really nice start to the year. I started reading this book on the um, psychology of money, and yeah, it's like I go through phases where I like kind of like binge read on a certain topic, and I'm enjoying finance stuff right now. So I enjoyed a nice mellow morning doing that, not being hungover. 1267. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, so looking at this just on the weekly, I feel like this is seems like compelling support that it's testing right now has, been, you know, going below it a little bit, this especially with this hammer candle right below it. Um, but it seems to have been respecting that pretty well. Let's see also. Yeah, well, it's got these two for the week of, I guess, the last week of January 2022. And I don't know if this would be the second or third week, I guess the third week of, or the third Friday, I guess, of March. Um, it does look like there's a good amount of support right around, I mean, I guess I should say resistance, really. Yeah, because there are these two candles here. And so if I just put that on the low of that week, that's 1661. Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, it does look like it's at resistance right now. So I think you'd want to see, and this is on the weekly time frame, so I'll switch over to the daily in a minute. But it does look like, um, yeah, it makes sense that it's struggling here because of this having been support in the past. And again, over here, yeah, like you can see all this volume right around that level. Let's see what the moving averages looks like. Um, okay, so this is in the weekly, so maybe it'd be better to look on the daily for this stuff. So it looks like the 50 just recently crossed below the 200, so that's the death cross, I believe. And although, it looks like the 21-day average, which is like the pinkish orangish line, I think it's like salmon color. I feel weird calling it orange. um, that looks like it could be crossing over the 50-day. Um, so that's potentially bullish. But yeah, I mean, this is like, this crossover happened here, and that's suggesting bearish, but then we see a rally up. So it's like it's a lagging indicator because we saw this downtrending here. Um, so yeah, I mean, I guess curious to see if like volume picks up, and I mean the RSI is right like at 50. Um, so it's yeah, I mean it's kind of in an intermediate range. Let's see. This is yeah, I don't see any like divergence or anything. Maybe on the longer time frame. So from here to there, higher lows. This is about flat, so that is somewhat divergent, which would be bullish because you're forming higher lows, whereas the RSI is staying low. So yeah, I mean this, from here to, I mean it is, I guess technically higher in the RSI, but it is generally like kind of flat for these dips. Um, yeah, so I mean, I guess I just really want to see maybe what happens starting tomorrow. It would need to be pretty strong. Yes, I had like a 1% down day. I don't follow too many Korean stocks, so I wonder if Korean markets were down on the 29th because a lot of like the SPY and stuff was. So, um, so yeah, I mean, with this being down 1%, let's see what the um, like. I think I should be looking at like so. This was down 0.28%, SPY 2.29%. So yeah, I guess it is. Let's see what the down 0.4%. So yeah, it's a QPeng, right? Yeah, so I mean it's kind of bad that it was down, more than the SPY and stuff, but it's smaller volume, so it would move more. Yeah, I'd be looking for strength. I'd be looking for, I guess, really, if it does go down, I'd be watching like the 21-day moving average that's currently at like 15.98 or $16. I mean, $16, that's really going to be a psychological level. So, I mean, if I'd be looking for if there's a close below $16, then I'd be a little skeptical of it, and then I guess I'd want to see a continuation that would confirm that it's going down because maybe it closes 16 one day or 15.99. That's still at this point above the 21-day moving average, and that could be a fake out because like I think there's an example. I think Gareth Soloway was probably going over this, going over like double tops in markets, and like here we could look at this with it's basically just an example of a fake out. Like, so if you see it go down, oh, it's closing one day. Let's say it closes one day at 15.90. And then it's like, oh crap, it's gonna drop because it's broken below the 21-day moving average. It's below this trend line. It's gonna keep going. But then that's a way to like fake out retail who don't wait for confirmation because you'd want to see, oh, okay, it's at 15.90 one day. What's the next close? Is it lower than 15.90? Okay, that's bearish. It's going down. I should cut my losses. And also, I mean, we've got on this day, December 20th, a close at 15.89, and so that is kind of like a fake out. And then you have all of these buyers stepping in the day after that. It dips down, that's bought right back up with a close above like at 16.19, and then the next day bought up, goes down, bought up, and so yeah, if it does, because I mean, being red on the 29th, that's not really a big deal because a lot of stuff was red. But I think if you do see a bigger red candle like this, I'd wait for confirmation the next day because it does seem like, oh, like this big red candle, it's bearish, but then stuff's bought up. Bearish, bought up. Bought up, bearish, bought up. So if there is a big red candle, I'd wait for a second big red candle to say, I'm going to cut my losses or, reassess. Um, but yeah, I do think as long as I'm just going to put a line there. I would just be looking for closes that are not lower than 1589. Um, and then if you see one that's lower than 1589, then you probably want to reassess. Um, but yeah, like an example of double top fake out. I'm just going to pull up Bitcoin, just looking at it on the longer time scale. But just this, how the highest close here. This is on the weekly time frame. Was, let's see, 61 253, and then we get a close here that's higher than that, but we couldn't get confirmation. We couldn't get another week to close above that. I'm not sure how this looks on the daily time frame. But yeah, I mean, we get this strong candle. It's like, okay, this is looking really good. Closed above these levels, so let's go. But then the next day can't close above it. The next day this looks bearish. It's like, okay, there's going to be another day where it goes up a little bit. That's the opportunity to exit, and then it goes down. And so this whole peaks over here, I mean, it's like it just repeated itself. Here you have a peak, and then it's like, oh man, I missed it. I think it's going to go back up. And then it starts coming down, it starts rallying, and then it goes back up to that level, and people are like, oh, it's going to the moon. I got to load. And then it goes up, and then it just starts tanking. And then here that happens again. This is kind of like a double, it's like a quadruple top, really. I mean, because you have this, and with this one as well, it just makes a new high, dips, makes a new high, dips, makes a new high, dips, and then just can't get above that. And so this is like your last opportunity to get out. And then over here, the same thing. It's a higher high here, dips, but then these closes can't get above that. And so it's just like faking people out. So yeah, that's kind of a tough thing to watch for. Like easy to look back on and be like, oh yeah, obviously. But that's something I think that's a really good thing to notice, especially I think you can pick it up with like market sentiment, because people just get like really, really bullish, or conversely really bearish at bottoms. And it's like, no, but there's not enough strength here for this to continue higher. And also I think too, there was, these lines got screwed up because I think I drew them on the weekly. Let's see. Yeah, those lines got screwed up a little bit. But this is like, you get a higher high in the price, but you're getting a lower high in the RSI. That's bearish divergence. So yeah, I think that's another thing to really be paying attention to. So yeah, I mean, this is a much shorter time scale, but yeah, you do see this increasing here. And from these points, the RSI does go up. But like from this low to these lows, it's more or less kind of flat with the RSI. So I feel like that's I forget what it's called. It's like half divergence, but it's definitely bullish because you're forming higher lows in the price. And the RSI is like relaxed. So it's like you're still near oversold territory. I mean, currently right now at 50, it's neutral. So it could break either way. So yeah, it's a tough one to be paying attention to. And I'm taking ticker request. Coupang was requested, so that's why I went over that, and then just kind of talking about Bitcoin, which is testing 45K. I might zoom in on just the hour time frame. But yeah, let's see. I'll look at this on the daily, because we can look at this divergence to see if there's something going on with the Bitcoin price. So basically here you have higher high, but this could keep going, that price of 45K. So that could keep going up, but so I don't think it's fair to consider this a top. But the RSI, you do see that here as being much higher than RSI is right here, and so this is forming higher highs in the price, lower highs in the RSI, and that's bearish divergence. There's this emoji that keeps going in the way. I was typing up so it moves up. Do you have book recommendations? So I haven't read too many. I haven't really read any finance books. I just started reading um, The Psychology of Money, which I'll probably be done with in a couple days. I'm usually like a slow reader. But when I pick up a topic, I just, uh, it's like I can't put it down. Yeah, it's a really easy read. It's basically just like, I feel like it's a compilation of short stories about finance or about the stock market, business companies. Like there's a story about Bill Gates and Kent. I forget his last name, but he was basically like would have been the third co-founder of Microsoft. Uh, Also, like in high school with Bill Gates, they started like they were in high school in one of the only, if not the only, high school in the country that had a computer, and they took to it, and it was a chapter, a lesson on risk and reward. I believe it was risk and reward. And basically, like everybody has different thresholds for that stuff. And sometimes, when you take a risk, you get rewarded for it, and other times you don't. And so Kent, who would have been and it's possible I have his name wrong, he would have been the third co-founder of Microsoft, but he died in a mountaineering accident in high school. And so I think, yeah, it was just like these guys were all like geniuses as far as computers go. Um, and then, yeah, or maybe I don't know if that was risk reward or just an example of risk. Sometimes you just get unlucky. And in that chapter, there was also, I believe it's the same chapter, stories of Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett, and then I forget the third guy who used to be with them in Berkshire Hathaway. But basically, that third guy just ended up using tons of leverage, and whereas Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett were just, no leverage, just chilling, just waiting. And so that third guy, I forget his name, he had to sell his Berkshire Hathaways at a discount. I think to Warren Buffett, maybe it was Charlie Munger. And yeah, so it's really just like, what's your threshold of risk? You can try to make a lot of money, but then you might lose it all. Or, you just slowly wait to accumulate and for that your gains to compound. And yeah, so there's just like a ton of lessons in it, kind of based on uh, history of the stock market. There's one of, I forget this, I think his last name's Reed. He's this janitor in maybe Ohio, I'm not sure, who, when he passed away, he donated like, I think millions of dollars to like his public library, his local library, and gave the rest of his money to his kids. And it's like, how the hell did this janitor have so much money? And it's just because he, was so frugal throughout his life. I imagine he grew up in the Depression, and just saved every penny and put it into blue chips. And over the course of his life, he didn't live extraordinarily well or anything. He just, uh, lived with what he needed, had a family, all of that and stuff, but he just accumulated all this wealth investing in blue chips. And then I think you can look him up on Wikipedia. But anyways, the book just has a bunch of stories like that, good lessons. I just read chapters on, there are two chapters. One was on, both about Ferraris basically, or Lambos. One about the author being a valet when he was in high school, I think. And he would always be so impressed by the cars that he would drive, get to drive as a valet, but he never paid attention to the person behind the wheel. He didn't care about them. And so it's like when you have all of this wealth or these riches, you think to, get all of these things that attract attention to you, but it's really like nobody cares about you. They care about the flashy thing that you have. And so, yeah, just like the psychology of that. And so I'm reading that. And then I also got, and I'll probably do videos on book reviews. I just think that sounds, maybe they get a lot of views, maybe they don't, but I just think that'll be a fun thing for me to do. And I just ordered a book by Peter Lynch on, I think, up, I don't know, it's something Up the Market. which I basically just got it so I'd get free shipping. I don't have Amazon Prime, so the book was cheap enough to get me to get free shipping. But then there are it's like a trilogy of books that ends up going over Wyckoff methodology. The first book is really just on like the fundamentals of trading, technical analysis, stuff like that. I forget the name of that book. I could look, if you're really curious now, I could look up the names of these books. And then the second and third book really get into Wyckoff methodology. So I'd really like to get into those. I didn't need to spend that much to meet the shipping threshold. But yeah, I'll put out like book recommendations on the channel if you guys want to learn about finance. One book that I really enjoy that's not related to finance, but I guess it is loosely to the markets, is the Steve Jobs biography. I just think that Steve Jobs is such an inspirational story, and so that's a really good book. Outside of finance, I have other recommendations, but I'm not a crazy reader or anything. Just when I get on a topic, though, I pick it up. But yeah, any ticker requests too. Happy to go over any stuff. I did put out. I'm trying to do like 4 videos a day just to kind of keep the growth of the channel going. And also, I get recommendations. Like some recommendations don't really get viewed that often, but some of them do. And because of that, it's like I have like a backlog of stocks to be updating and stuff. Yeah, like here, just under Bitcoin is Beyond. I made videos on this a while ago, I think, talking about this bull flag. And I think I was comparing it to Palantir. And yeah, it did end up breaking out, but then came back down. This would have been, a good time to get some shares. But yeah, Beyond Meat, I think it's kind of a funny business. It's like so niche. I think the intention's good, but when it comes down to it, especially if like we're strapped for money, would you rather have like a beef patty or a Beyond beef patty? I like burgers. So especially if like a Beyond burger is more expensive, I'd rather go with regular beef. But sometimes it's on sale. I don't know. Let's see. ChargePoint, a favorite of mine. I'm going to remove these moving averages. Yeah, man. What's going on with this? I could see maybe it's forming a double bottom here. That's what I'm hoping. But yeah, I think 250 is a key level for ChargePoint. I think like Max Payne's like cycle around 250. So yeah, let's see. Chue just did a video on that. Let's see what these. Man, this is like on this drop. You would have wanted to buy calls or something, because I think this is going to be up a good amount come open, because Bitcoin's going up. CleanSpark is a Bitcoin mining company, and I'm actually like, I know that it's like part of the appeal for a fair amount of Bitcoin mining companies is the renewable energy and things like that behind them. I feel like CleanSpark, it sounds like it in its name at least, but they are, I think, more focused on like energy efficiency, stuff like that. And so they're intriguing to me in that sense, but they're not as, I don't know, popular as like Mara and Riot. And I know that Marathon Digital, I know that they do have a focus on renewable energy as well. Let's see. Dogecoin. Is this going to break out? EVgo. I haven't done stock update on this for a while. Yeah, this is interesting because it looked like it was like kind of bearish consolidation, and then, yeah, it does go down a little bit, but then that was like the opportunity to buy. And now this still does look like it's trending up though, so it doesn't really look that great. Fisker, man, this is like, I don't know if 2 people watching, I don't know if you guys are holding or interested in Fisker, but I think this is a really interesting one, especially because like, for me, I'm like trying to navigate which tickers like people want videos on. And I was just, I was at work, didn't really have any ideas for the day. And I saw, oh crap, Fisker's dropping a bunch today, on November 27th. I bet people are going to want to see a video on that. And so I started making a video on when it closed at 182, so I guess below current or above current price right now. But then I just started making videos during this down trending channel, and I just got so many comments of people like just, this is really risky. I don't know why you're talking about this stuff like this. It's just going to keep going down. And that's, yeah, I mean, this is like, to me, it seems like the exact time, when there's like peak fear and you're getting signs that, this consolidation is downtrending, so it's going to break to the upside. You have rising in the RSI while you have in the higher lows in the RSI, whereas you have higher lows, lower lows in the price. And this is just like so many bullish things about it. It can't go much lower. And, I even had this line at $1.41. I was planning on picking up a fair amount of shares at $1.41. And by a fair amount, I'm not a big player or anything, so not too much. But I have one share at $1.45. It's pretty lame. But, with this, following this big move up, a lot of people have been saying, I can't see it going below like 170. And I mean, there's this big move up. It looks great, but it opened at like, opened at 171 and closed at 175. So like, a lot of this move, other than this like gap up, a lot of this move was like returned by the end of the day. And so, I think that especially with there being this gap here and this tail below the candle, I do think it's going to settle down a little bit. And so, my average is, because I have one share at 145, I'm not worried about that. I don't care. Of course, it's $1.50. But I think that, it's going to come down to 158, 154. And I think that's going to be a really good time to accumulate. And like this pop was based on, basically they were lowering, I don't know which article it was that I pulled up, but they basically have been lowering the bar for how many vehicles they're going to produce in the year. And by like continually lowering that, they beat what their projection was. And so it's like, you lower the bar enough, like you don't have to jump over it, you can just walk over it. And so that's basically what they did. And so that's like good that they ended up with something more realistic. But yeah, and it's also great. They produced more than 10,000 vehicles. So I think that 2024 is going to be really good for the company, but I do think it's going to settle here and consolidate here, especially, we see this like, there's a good amount of volume here. So I don't think it's going to go much lower than like 154, maybe a tail down, but we've got this nice volume shelf here. That's going to be support. I don't think it's going to revisit 141. Might it visit 145? Sure. I think, like pretty much anything below 158, I think it's going to be good to like casually be accumulating. I think it might reside there for a little while before it starts to go up again. But yeah, I think somebody was saying in the comments that it's, my estimates are unrealistic, that it's going to be going up to $10 easily in 2024. That's going up to here. The last time it was up, like, let's see here, the high was on September 15th, 2022. The high was $10. So yeah, that's visiting levels here. I don't want to rain on parades or anything, but this was like a pretty volatile move, which I think signals that the bottom's in. So I think it's really good in that sense, but we're not too far from the bottom. And so I think it just means that it's going to be like, if your average is, if you were accumulating in this downtrending channel, I think that you can forget about it. You don't have to look at this again. You can look at it in, at the end of the year, and you will be up a lot. Whether it's $10, I'm not sure. First we got to take out this gap here and break above, this little volume shelf here that's sticking out. But yeah, I'm stoked about Fisker. And, it's like one that like I wasn't paying attention to. I just saw this big drop. And then in like making videos on it during his downtrending channel, it's like, man, it's stupid for me to not be holding this. I should have I should have realized that when it hit 135 and then closed above 141, then I would have had, let's see, the low on this day. Yeah, an opportunity to pick up shares then. But, nobody's perfect. Let's see. Yeah, any ticker requests, happy to go over them. Matterport. This was recently. Somebody gave me a nice comment about this, saying that it's a sleeper. I'm curious. I'm not. I'm still learning. A lot of technical analysis. Like I might identify something and say, oh, it's going one way, but then, oh crap, I'm wrong. Learning as I go. This to me looks like it's a head and shoulders pattern. Not that pretty. But maybe this orange line should actually be drawn at what's the close here. The close was 269, so maybe this 274 level should actually be at 269, and that's the neckline. And this is just a test of that before launching up. So yeah, I should have probably, maybe I'll make a video after this one on Matterport, because yeah, and also yeah, what's the open here? 70. Yeah, I mean, so this is right around that neckline. But yeah, I mean, I did make a video on, maybe I should rewatch that video after the stream and see if I should make another video on it. But yeah, actually, I'm gonna check how many views did that video get. That's kind of like something I try to pay attention to, because if I put a lot of effort into a video and it gets like viewed like 10 times, it's not really not where my energy should be. But yeah, Matterport, 64 views. If you haven't seen the Matterport video, that came out on, let's see, December 26th. Inverted head and shoulders breakout. That's what it was on. And so this is basically like we're confirming that there's a breakout right now at a price of 269. So if this goes lower, closes below like 270 tomorrow, then that's probably confirmation that the inverse head and shoulders is failing. But if this goes up tomorrow, we could be going up to like 370. So yeah, I don't know. I think I have a small order on Matterport. I don't know. Which is, for me, a small order is like one share. It sucks because I'm like, I cover all these stocks I get really interested in, but I have like big positions that I'm down on or not ready to sell. And then it's like, oh, but then there's a stock that's really interesting that I just covered. I don't have any more money to buy, but yeah, I'll buy one share. It's better than nothing. But yeah, I feel like that's a compromise for me, because a lot of the stocks I go over, I don't have any shares of. Which is funny though, because it's like I will refer to something that's like it's going up. It'll be good for us if it goes up, and just I'm referring to us, the retail community. Yeah, I did a video on NGL. Whoa! When did I make the video on this? Craziness. I've got to look up Azul. I'll look up Azul in 1 second. I just got to see when I made this NGL video. Damn. I made this when I was on vacation. I remember that. December 17th. Retest to confirm support on the 17th. There was no retest. It just, yeah, so I made it before this day. Just continued higher. This looks like it's a bull flag though. So, man, $5. Shit. Man, why is it going up? That should be. Yeah, so that looks like it's testing the top. Yeah, I mean, it went up 2% on Friday, which was like fairly bearish day, I feel like. Maybe not in the energy sector, but yeah, NGL, I think that there's some talk of politicians trading it and stuff. But yeah, NGL, man, where could this be going? 624, I already got a line there. What's that going on with that line? Man, I gotta. Yeah, man. This is pretty cool. I'm like excited about this because yeah, it just looks like a really clean uh, bull flag. Going up. All right, thoughts on Azul? Oops. Damn it. Man, why Azul? I gotta click on it. I'm gonna add this to dgen ed. All right, thoughts on this? Let's see. That looks like a bull flag. Yeah, which is like kind of surprising because it does look like it like broke down here. Yeah, so 969. There's this gap up here to like, damn. Yeah, this is like the really tough thing about making videos is I just like see so many things where it's like that clearly looks like a bull flag. It also looks like there's some support here with this, basically with this close being at, let's see, it's at close 925. So yeah, I mean, this is tested the top of the channel multiple times, it looks like. If like basically, I mean, if you do have a position in this, I'd probably chill. But like this volume shelf here, that looks like the bottom of that's right around $9. So I mean, $9 could be support. Yeah, that's like this is something that I have not mastered is when to pull the plug on stuff. But yeah, I mean this could go down to $9, 9.25. I mean, it seems like yeah, I mean, taking a step back, I think that this could go down, yeah, to 9.25. I don't know that there's much below, yeah, like $9. And there's this consolidation over here. But yeah, I mean, this to me, just like not thinking about where it might go down to, this looks like a bull flag, and I could see it breaking up. And then you got this shelf here. That's like $11.75, $12. Also, there's multiple gaps here. So yeah, I could definitely see this going up to fill these gaps. And yeah, also the RSI is down. Let's see. From here, let's see. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any divergence or anything, so nothing's like clearly standing out. Moving averages. I could see it coming down to test the 50-day moving average at like 945 or 950. And so 950, I mean, it could be like if you're looking to establish a position, maybe 950 is a good place to say, place a limit order. If it doesn't get filled, then forget about it. If it does, I think that'd probably be a dip. And then you also have the 21-day or so no, a 200-day moving average that's right around 923, which is, pretty similar to this close here. So I do think that, yeah, I mean, I think it's above a fair amount of things that could be serving as support. There's no gap here to fill anymore. It does look like there's a little gap here maybe. This is a high of 813, low on this day, 817. So there is a little gap down here. But I think, a lot of the videos that I've made where I'm like, there are gaps to the downside, I waited and I got left behind, like SoFi, Rivian, stocks like that, I'm bullish on the companies. So yeah, I mean, I think this just straight up looks like a bull flag, with gaps to the upside. And yeah, I don't even know what the company does, so I should probably maybe look at that. Brazil-based company engaged in the provision of passenger transportation services. Azul means blue in Spanish, if you didn't know. The sky is blue. They're an airline operator. That's what they primarily act as. And yeah, I don't know what the Brazilian market here. I've searched it recently. Um, let's see. Maybe I searched it on my phone, so I don't know, like Brazil. Man, I forget what. I thought I put it on a list, but yeah, I should look up ETFs. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's let's see. It was the EWZ. That's what I was looking at. Man, crap. I thought this was gonna be down a lot. I think it like long term it's down a lot, I believe. Or no. What is this? Huh. Remove these moving averages. Hmm. But yeah, I was kind of under the impression that an ETF that tracks like the Brazilian economy. Maybe it's this. No, that's a small cap though. Um, hmm. I don't know. Something that Gareth Soloway had mentioned. Maybe it's this. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think that yeah, I can't remember. Um, but let's see. Yeah, Azul. Go back to this one. Um, and look at it on the daily. Yeah, I mean, I think that looks bullish. That's what I'd say. Um, I don't really see anything. Let's see. Yeah, no, I mean, it looks bullish to me. Happy to take any other requests. Let's see, recently viewed. Actually, hmm. Oh, not QuantumScape. It's funny, QuantumScape and Block I get confused with a lot. This one, man, I learned a good lesson with this. I'm happy I learned it. Um, Either way, I would not be holding right now. Um, but yeah, I picked up one share at 39, because I didn't have a lot to throw into it. And I think I sold at 48 because I saw this level that had acted as resistance before. But the thing is, like the reason why, and I think I made a video on this, the reason why uh, prior support acts as resistance is because there's consolidation where there's support. So I had been thinking, oh, this had acted as resistance. It's probably going to act as resistance again, but there's no consolidation above it. You just have this move down. I mean, it just so happened to be resistance there. And so I sold at 48, but then it just kept going. And I should have sold. I mean, I shouldn't have sold. But based on technical levels, I should have, if I had a large position, I should have trimmed at 53 because there's this consolidation here. And yeah, I mean, you can see this little bit of the volume sticking out there, which really, I mean, to look at that volume shelf, I need to like negate that stuff, move it over there. But yeah, this just has been on a rampage. This, yeah, I was exchanging with one of you guys in the comments following the SoFi video about how, basically everybody's been spending so much because of the holidays, and like the financial stocks gonna probably turn around at some point. And yeah, this one 100% has to cool off at some point. I wish, like, I don't have a way of like shorting companies other than like buying puts. Um, and so I'd like to buy puts on block, but they're just like really expensive, and I don't always make money when I buy contracts over 100%, over 100%. Over, yeah, and if we look at this on like the monthly time frame, got these two big candles. We could look at this in the quarterly time frame. I think actually was doing this just kind of for fun. If we take a measurement of this, the Fibonacci, oh yeah, I don't want to do a measurement. I want to do a Fibonacci. If we do a Fibonacci of this one candle, that's, we could look at this on the monthly time frame. Maybe here, that makes it more useful, I guess. But yeah, I mean, this will probably be cooling off. Maybe January it ends up lingering here. I'm really bad at, this has gone up over 100%. It's got to cool off soon. It might take a month of settling up here before it starts to cool off. So good to not jump into contracts when you don't really have confirmation yet. But yeah, this I think could be coming down to like $60, like the 50% retracement, maybe, or 60, yeah, or 55. 60 at the 50% retracement, or the 618 at 50, 55 or so. We look at this on the weekly. Yeah, that looks like, I mean, here we got 2 weeks ago, we got a close at 777.14. This one's a close just barely above that. Did put in a new high. So I think we want to see what happens this coming week. And if we get a close this week, either below 77.35 or 77.14, and we don't get a new high, I feel like that's like the top is in, and this is going to start going down. And then it's the appropriate time to buy puts. But then it's like, what's the strike? What's the expiration? And so I need to work on putting in more out. Just as an experiment here for this, let's look at the options. I got, let's see, puts. I would do, I always do them too close, like March 15th. And like, what's a good strike? Yeah, $60. Or let's do 55, and that would, that's actually not that bad. I mean, I don't want to risk losing like $70. This is $69 to buy a $55 strike put that expires March 15th. But because then it's like, I mean, but then you have like theta decay and stuff if it flattens out up here. But this is the weekly time frame. Yeah, anyways, I'm trying to get better with options. Because, I don't want to hold it to March 15th or whatever that strike. Yeah, March 15th. But it's just like, if it starts to go down, if it goes down to 70, then it's like, okay, I made 50% or 10% or whatever, close my position. And then, it's like I'm not getting attached to something. I can't hold it onto it forever because it's going to expire. So I find options to be useful in that sense, that you don't get too like emotionally attached, because you're going to lose all your money if you do, because they like never close in the money. I guess I could see what the open interest is for puts March 15th. Like what stands out? Open interest. Yeah, 62, 60. Yeah, so I think, and then 55, there's some there. Ooh, look at this, 45. That's only $24. Do I see this going down to $45? That would be like the 786 retracement. No, I don't think it's going that low in a month and 2.5 months. But if it does go down to like 60 in that time, you could take your close your position and make a little bit of money. So yeah, this is something I'm intrigued by. I'll probably just watch this during the week and see what happens. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do videos on block this week and Matterport. Those seem really interesting. If you have a request for either a ticker for me to go over now, or other that I could go over during the week, make specific videos on. One that I haven't made a video on, I should actually put this on the add to watch list, the daily, and you can see that I am holding it. I exchanged with somebody on Twitter. Just I forget what we were going over exactly. Oh yeah, they were talking about Bitcoin miners like Mara just going up, and I was basically asking somebody that I follow, when do you think it'd be the right time to buy puts? When it hits, I think 32, or when Bitcoin hits 48K, and then we started a discussion of, when is the right time to be placing orders and contracts. And this person used Starbucks as an example. This is on the weekly time frame. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red candle weeks. Looks like it's flattened out here. So I bought a call with a strike of, let's see, and I probably didn't put too much money, like let's see, I'll pull it up on my phone. I don't want to show it on the screen, but I'll pull it up on my phone. Let's see, crap. So basically I have a Starbucks call with $110 strike price. So that's going up to, up to here. I don't think it's going to go up that high necessarily, so it's like February 16th is right here. This is because these are weekly. I don't think it's going to be at these levels by that time, but I do think price will go up. And so I bought that contract for $33, just one contract, and it's currently at it's worth $32, so it's like 32 cents times 100 for the contract. And yeah, we'll see what happens with it. Because that's me learning from somebody on Twitter. They gave a really nice, clear example. I mean, you could look at this on the monthly, I think. It's just like, you have this blow off top candle in November, and then it started to settle. But really, like looking at it on the weekly, because I think their analysis was just based on, okay, you've got this massive, he referred to it as a green dildo. This candle, went up, I guess just 11.5%. So it's like, that's not huge for some candles that I've seen, but this is like, market cap of 109 billion. So that's a lot of money. And so, yeah, based on just that retracement, it's come back to the 618. And so, yeah, I guess, in that philosophy, what was I just going over? Block. So, yeah, I mean, like the same kind of analysis, if I look at this on the monthly, from that retracement, so the weekly here, the 618 is coming down to 55. So, yeah, and then, yeah, this is an interesting comparison. Look at STNE. I will look at it 1 second. I just want to see, like, so basically from the top here, that's like 3 weeks, and then it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, really 5 weeks to come back to the 618. And so if we look at block, this has, this is on the weekly, and so let's say this is like over the course of, this is kind of a, let's see, because that's just like straight up. This is 3 weeks. It's like a month, approximately a month going up. And so if we look at this, it's like 2 months going up. So if that'd be 5 times, so that's like 10 weeks. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, I mean, it could be like March before it retraces to the 618. So my mid-February. Oh wait, no. So that's, yeah. So mid-March puts on block could pay off. Yeah. So I'm selling some covered calls tomorrow. I don't have enough capital in my account to buy a lot of more stuff. But yeah, I might want to follow block and maybe buy a put with like a $45 strike, thinking it will never get there, but just that price will come down, then I can sell at at least 10% profit. I want to take the risk off the table. But yeah, I'll look up STNE. Stoneco. What is this? I'm going to put this on the Degen Ed list. Yes, this is on the weekly. Yeah, it does look like there's this consolidation here. You can see it in this like shelf. It's not a shelf because there's so much consolidation below it. But yeah, I mean, it does look like really, I mean, there's not much above it until like 28.59 or so, like when coming up to here. Well, actually, there is this consolidation here. So yeah, there's still some stuff to get into, but this is 2020. It's been a while. On the daily, gap to the downside. Yeah, this like 2 red candles in a row, so it doesn't look too great. And with this gap to the downside, let's see. Yeah, RSI 71 recently had a high of 80. I think this has hit a top because, yeah, I feel like, I don't know what example. I think I just did a video on. I think I can look up. I can pull up an example in a minute. But basically, like one of the videos I just made today, I'm pretty sure I made 4 videos. One of them had a RSI go up to like the upper 80s. I think like 85 or 86. And it's like, oh crap, it's totally overbought. That's got to be the top. But then it cooled off a little bit and then went up higher. Or the RSI didn't go as high, but the stock price went higher. And so this is exactly, bearish divergence, what you're seeing here. This is like, so let's see. You have like, oh my God, RSI is like 87. That's the top. It's, going to come down a lot from there. But then here, when you start to see like it change here, it starts to go up here, then it's like, okay, well, maybe not. And then at this point, it's like, okay, you have these higher highs here in the price, higher highs, but then lower highs in the RSI. This is about to fall off a bridge, is my opinion. I may be wrong. Yeah, provider of financial technology and software solutions. Yeah, this is like, I think definitely with a gap here, all of these gaps over here. There does, like, I don't know that these gaps will be filled that easily because, like if I look at it like this, I mean, there's this volume shelf here. I think that will serve as support. But then, I mean, if you take a step back, there has been a good amount of trading in this area. So, I mean, there's this gap here. I do think that's fairly notable, but I do think, it'll come down. I mean, it could, it's possible this will, this is a shoulder, this is the head. I do think that it will probably come down to around 15, 16 bucks. And then maybe at that point, it'll come back up. And then that could be a head and shoulders pattern. And so let's see, what is the measurement from here down to whatever this neckline might be. And then if I move that to here, yeah, I think I would not want to be going long on this right now. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I feel like whenever I like am really confident about something, it's like maybe I'm wrong. But looking at this, I'm actually going to put this on the daily list because I think it's really interesting. Because this is just very clearly bearish divergence. And it's very clearly overbought still. So yeah, if you have a position in this, I would take your profits. Because yeah, I mean, I think this will be coming down to, I should have thought about that more. Taking a step back. See, I mean, if you come down to the neckline here, and if that's like the neckline's based on like these opens and closes here, then is there any significance in this level? I mean, you do have, like right around there, like around, so that'd be, I guess it's like, it's pretty crazy. So yeah, I mean, like 16, I could see, coming there bouncing, and then going up to form Head and Shoulders. Yeah, so this is like, I don't think it'd be a popular video, but this is like, the making of Head and Shoulders. Um, but yeah, coming down to like this level, you see all of these tops over here, resistance there. That's going to be a lot of support. And so, yeah, like this gap down here, that may not get filled, or it might be a while before that gets filled. But I could see, like, let's see. So basically coming from like right around here, this is the daily time frame, to like the tops over here. That's like 27 days. So from there, I could see it taking, 27 days. Oh, well, that was a good guess there. To come back down and test that. And then from like this point, I could see it coming down to there. And that would be, over a longer time frame, I think. But yeah, probably by like the end of February. Yeah. I'm bearish on it. I'm actually going to look up puts. Not that I encourage options, because I lose more than I make with them, but I'm learning. I always do small positions, so not that big of a deal. Yeah, so let's see. Basically, I think 16 is realistic. Definitely by the end of January, so I might look. And then I think like beyond that, I think 12. So maybe there's something that's like really cheap here. So like February 16th, so that's like playing it kind of safe. 16, $45 to buy that put. More than I want to go. But if I do like 12, that's $15. Yeah, that, I mean, like I said, all my positions are like spoken for. My capital spoken for. But yeah, this definitely looks like it's an easy put. Look up PAGS as well. Payment processor, similar to, but in, I'm just gonna, the emoji thing's blocking it. Similar to what? To Square, okay, or Block. PAGS. I feel like I looked up PAGS recently. Yeah, I think you might have requested this. This one, I mean, it does have, like, I mean, it's pretty similar to the one I was just going over. Yeah, what was the one? STNE is pretty similar to STNE. What is the name of it? Stonico? But yeah, because you have higher highs formed here, but then you have not lower highs, but you're not making new highs in the RSI. RSI has been like hanging out. This was at 82 before. It's been hanging out around these levels. So it's not, yeah, I think it's like muted bullish divergence. I don't know what the correct term for it is. But yeah, I think that it's possible, because this is like flat, it's possible it could have like another go up. But I I wonder when I went over, like put this blue line there, I wonder if that was like a target. But yeah, I mean, I don't have a position in this. Based on the chart, I would not feel comfortable going long or short. I do think it will go down, but it might have another leg up, and so I wouldn't want to risk it. And I definitely would not want to go long, because I feel like the odds are in the favor of it going down. But again, it could have like a final rally, a blow off top or something before starting to go down. So if I did have a position in this, and considering it's like at this recent high after, let's see what this kind of run is from the bottom here up to the top. That's, 80%. Yeah, I mean, similar to Block. And actually, I'm going to look over at Block again. Sorry, I keep going back to it. But yeah, what's the RSI look like on this? This is interesting, because the RSI has been forming higher highs so it's not yet showing bearish divergence. I don't really know that. I mean, this has just been really weird how like strong it's been, and it's been like residing. Dude, it went up to like high 88 in the RSI. That's crazy. Um, but yeah, basically all of those, um, I would not want to go long on. Um, and with block, I'm intrigued to buy like March 15th puts with a $45 strike price, expecting it to come down to like 60. And so I'd like take profits within a month. Um, but I also, yeah, I wish I had, endless amounts of money to deploy because there's so many interesting stocks. But yeah, I'm going to go over. So I've been streaming for more than an hour, but I do want to go over. Look, I had started on Bitcoin. I'll end on Bitcoin, but I just want to go over, let's see, an example of like the RSI being like well over. So maybe it was SoFi. I'll look at that. Yeah, oh yeah, I think this is it. So basically, you have like this extreme RSI, 87, and then it cools off, and then you get this higher high. And so that you have a higher high in the price, lower high in the RSI, that's bearish divergence. And so that when you see that, oh my God, this is like mind-blowingly higher than it was before. I'm going to diamond hand this. I'm going to hold this until the moon. The RSI is telling you get out. This is bearish divergence. And then sure enough, the next trading day, it goes down. And yeah, so there's 1170. We haven't seen those prices and we're getting ready to test them. So yeah, and with that being said, those who were not paying attention to the RSI when this topped and they did not sell, they're going to be wanting to sell because this was their only opportunity. If you bought here, the only way to break even, unless you've averaged down a lot. Yeah, I mean, so getting into $11, there's going to be a lot of selling with SoFi. I love SoFi, but with this chart, I think it's going to be getting near top soon, unfortunately, because I know a lot of people like the stock. And actually, yeah, I think I was intrigued. I think I have an order placed for like if this goes up a lot, I'd buy a put, but I might actually not do that and might favor doing that with block. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not great with options. I'm trying to get better, so I do small positions and I learn from my mistakes. But I feel like once you figure out that balance with options, which I'm still learning, such a great way to make money. And that's just like, I mean, you wait for a stock to go up, let's say 10, 20%, take profits, sure. But, options, you can do that much easier. And so I need to get better at that. Yeah, Bitcoin now over 45. Looking at maybe tackling this 40. Yeah, so what I could see is basically because there's rumors. Is there news on this? I don't know, the intraday increase in Bitcoin spot market once extended to 6% is now reported at, yeah, okay, so this is these news articles, 30% surges. What's that have to do with Bitcoin? Yeah, so what I see as going on with Bitcoin is this is like, oh my God, the spot ETF is going to be going on. It's going to get approved on January 10th, I believe is the date. I might be wrong on that. And this is going to rally up to 48K up until the 10th. And when that gets approved, it's going to be a sell the news event. And while I'm bullish on Bitcoin long term, I think that once it hits 48K around the 10th, this is going to be coming down. And then, so this basically is like let's see, this is weekly. So this is April 8th. This is around the time of the halving. So I could see, that being a bottom and then it's starting to go up after that maybe. But I have not been so engaged with Bitcoin during a halving. I've always kind of uh, not been engaged and whatnot. But yeah, what we see, let's see. Um, hmm. Yeah, and this is like here's an example of why looking at divergence is really really useful. And I'm surprised that this wasn't like talked about before. But so here, this is on the weekly chart. You have a new low formed there, lower low. But then if you look at the RSI, you have a higher low. That's bullish divergence. That's saying load the boat. Man, I missed out. But what's looking at this and regretting not buying here, you're never going to be happy. Looking at this and recognizing why you should have been buying here, because there was bullish divergence. You recognize that bullish divergence the next time something like this happens, you're able to call the bottom pretty precisely with that. It didn't go down to 15K. It went down to 15.5K. You load the boat there because you see this bullish divergence. And then you get, this consolidation here, a move up. That's basically like confirmation. And then here again, let's see. No, it's not bullish divergence anymore. That's, yeah. So anyways, I wish my average on Bitcoin was 15.5K or lower. It could have been lower, but it's not. And that's fine, as long as we're learning as we move forward with the markets. That's what's going to be invaluable, and that's what's going to make us win in the end. Yeah, and I see 3 people are watching. If you have any ticker requests, I was just reminiscing on Bitcoin and how I didn't buy the dip here, even though there were signs to buy it. But yeah, if you have any ticker requests, happy to go over them. I have been doing this for more than an hour, though, so I might wind this down. But yeah, if there are ticker requests, happy to take them. And I guess also, like, kind of how I make videos, I can go over that if you're curious. I basically put stocks in this like daily folder that I have, this daily watch list, that stand out to me as being interesting. And so if there are any of these that you are intrigued by, I can mention, why I'm intrigued by them. And if there's one you'd like me to do a video on, I'll do a video on it tomorrow. Basically a firm, this has, actually, I don't like how I have this. I guess, yeah, I mean, maybe I want to leave that up there. I might think about that. But yeah, from like the lows here to the top, that's, damn, 226%. That's insane. So this is definitely coming down. It's just like a question of like, how much are puts? How long is it going to take for this to go down? But yeah, if we look at this on the monthly time frame, it's like 2 candles. So really, I mean, we could look at it the quarterly. That's like one big candle. That's how I got that measurement, I guess. Yeah, and so if like comparing this to Starbucks, which I think on the weekly is the example, you have like 3 candles going up and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down to the 618. And so if we look at a firm on the quarterly, we have, let's see, actually maybe I want to look at this on the monthly. So yeah, it's like 1, 2, 3, and then so like, so this is like for the end of January, then February, March, so it's 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically like the end of, I don't know why is there no June? I don't know what's going on here. Can't get June. Whatever. But basically like by the end of June, I would expect this to be around $30. So let's see. What is, just out of curiosity, I'm just going to type up there so I can see your comment. Am I taking any large short positions soon? So for me, like I have a tough time going short because I don't, I'm not a short seller. I don't do that just because, like the infinite amount of risk with that. So what I do is I'll buy puts, or I've been accumulating like the SQQQ, the SH, and I did just buy, I think, one share, which is, pretty lame, of SOXS. And so basically, like every week with those, if I'm down in my position, I'm going to add one more share to it. And if it's up, then I'm going to, oh crap. And you guys aren't seeing, crap. I've got to refresh my screen. I guess I've been like talking and this has not been refreshing. So sorry about that. So I'm looking at options on a firm. Man, I hope you guys didn't miss out on a lot. And so yeah, I'll go over short positions in a second. So I do have some puts. I've been buying puts on Robinhood, and I've been losing money on them. Yeah, hey, happy New Year, Gordon. um, so I've been buying puts on Robinhood, which I was like too early for. Which for me, it's like a good lesson. Wait for confirmation of the top. But I am feeling pretty confident that while I did lose money on some of those, which is like I maybe lost $50. I think I'll make that back in the next couple months. But yeah, like with a firm, yeah, so I could see this. Yeah, I'm just curious to see like, so what does it cost to buy a put for like the June contract going down to, let's see, a price of $30. So contract to $30, $300. Yeah, see, I don't have that kind of money to like risk losing it all. But I feel like I don't know if those will be in the money, but I think that they might go up. But anyways, yeah, but these are. So I'm just gonna, before I go over short positions, I'm just gonna actually, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna make some more videos tomorrow regardless. If you have ticker requests for me, leave them, comment them on a video, and I'll try to do follow-ups or do the requests. So yeah, looking at the indexes, and then I can also mention, my positions that I have or have had in Robinhood, which I'm probably going to lose money on some of them, but I think I'll make money on some. And really it's just, me practicing this discipline of like, when is the top? That's when I need to enter. Okay, this is when I buy puts. And so, yeah, like so initially, because I'm not too familiar with shorting the market, I have been accumulating SH, which is, let's see, I'll move this over, ProShares short S&P 500. This one is not leveraged. It's just, and actually I made a video on like shorting the market. So if you are curious on different ways to short the market, I did make a video on that. And so what I have been accumulating, let's see, I can like, again, my positions are small just because I cover like way too much on this channel, and I have big positions in some things and I'm not able to like accumulate as much as I would like. I keep wanting to check the YouTube channel to look at videos, but I check my Webull account, and when I want to check my Webull account, I check YouTube Studio. It's funny. So let's see. Here, I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm pulling it up on my phone so I can see, and yeah, so indexes. Yeah, so for SH, I have 6 shares at an average price of $13.45. So I'm negative right now, but it's like, I just started accumulating those 6 shares over these weeks, and tomorrow, like basically in the pre-market, I'm going to get another one at $12.99 or whatever the open price is. And then I'm not going to think about it until the next start of the week. And if I'm negative, I'll add one more. So it's pretty boring. But, I could see this coming up to fill these gaps. And so that's like, and this is, so I have like my like watch list of what I'm holding that I pay attention to. And then like stuff that's in the indexes, I don't pay attention to that. So I don't check it daily. I don't really care what goes on with it. But I could see it coming up to here. That's like a 17% increase. So, well, not very exciting. That's just like, I'm going to forget about it. And then I think, Nameless, I think you had mentioned SOX, which SOXS. I've got to remember that S because it's short. I'll go over that in a second. But like the SQQQ, this is 3x leveraged. And so what is, let's see, a 17% increase? With this, it's actually a 77% increase. So I started picking up SQQ after I started getting SH. So I only have 4 shares of this. But, this is just like, I'm going to forget about it and I'll just accumulate every week I'm negative. I'll buy one more share. And so I think this is going to be really good. SOXS. I think I just have 1 share, and I do have a buy order at 79, which was the after hours price when I placed the order, I guess. It has not been filled because it was, I thought it said 79, but I guess the after hours changed to 80. I don't know. But this is 3x leverage. This is semiconductor bear 3x. This is remarkable. Going up to the peak here, 100, nearly 150%. So it's like, maybe it's boring. I start accumulating shares. I have 1 share at 581. Oh, yeah, no, I have the order at 579 because I want the average to be 580. So, yeah, it's super boring, but it's something I don't check. It's $6 or $12, whatever, however many shares I have. So I just forget about it. And then, maybe the market doesn't go down. But looking at like SPX, I think I've covered like the SPY. Like you can see all the stuff that I've charted with it. I think this is actually not as good a reference as the SPX because the SPY is showing it's putting in a new all-time high, whereas the SPX is not yet putting in an all-time high. But looking at this, we have here, let's see, this high. We're, so this is like the high here to the high here. This is a higher high in the RSI, and this is a lower high in the RSI. That's hidden bearish divergence. And so, maybe that's nothing. But yeah, and then again here, we have this, the price is going up. It's higher, but the RSI is lower. That's bearish divergence with a higher high in the price. So, yeah, I think that the market's going to go down. And I'm not like aggressively short it. But I do think it's going to go down. And so if it does go down, I'll make a little bit of money and I'm not going to be thinking about it. But yeah, I see one more person here. If let me know if you have a ticker request, but I'm probably going to wind this down because it's been like an hour and a half, an hour and 28 minutes of streaming. So this is awesome. It looks like, I've like stats in the, so I'm streaming via OBS and it has like information from YouTube Studio. It says 53 views. So if that's true, this is like a pretty popular stream. Man, I'm excited to be seeing growth in the channel this year, and I think 2024 is going to be such a good year for retail. I feel like we've been beaten down, and I think like mega caps and stuff might have a tough time, but I think the stuff that retail really gets excited about, like the meme stocks, whether that's AMC, GameStop, or anything. Like I feel like SoFi was one of those because I think that was a SPAC that was put forth by, is it Chamath Palihapitiya? And yeah, like he's, same with Clover Health. And so I think that 2024 is going to be a really good year for these stocks that retail holds. And yeah, I'm stoked to be doing this stuff on the channel. I just started this channel wanting to do like a trading journal for myself. And I feel like this is becoming a movement. Like I'm becoming part of a movement and stuff. So I'm stoked about that. And I'm really excited to see the gains that we can make during the year. And, if like the SPY is going down or the SPX is going down, I think that's going to be because large caps like Apple, let's look at Apple real quick. Yeah, this, is forming higher high. I'm not even looking at the RSI as I draw this, but look, higher high there. This is becoming so easy. You have lower high in the RSI. It's time to be. Yeah, I think I just made a video on. I don't get why I didn't mention this. Oh, because this is weekly. But I think, yeah, I did a video on. Yeah, Apple's going down. Mega caps are going down. Retail's gonna rally though because we like stonks. Um, yeah. But yeah, I think that's it for the stream. I'm just going to throw up the subscribe. Nobody's probably ever going to watch this part of the video. But if you enjoyed this, like it. Share your thoughts in the comments below and in the live chat. Happy to take ticker requests during these live streams. And of course, make sure you subscribe. Doing live streams moving forward. They will be on Sundays again in the new year at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm also, I might be periodically taking days off of work to do live stream, maybe once a month, maybe twice a month during market hours. I have my birthday coming up in a couple weeks. I'm taking some days off of work then. I'll probably stream all of market hour during my birthday, which is January 16th, just to have some fun and yeah, try to get some more growth on the channel because this is like my life. I love doing this. And it's so rewarding to see growth on a YouTube channel. So yeah, thank you so much for joining. I hope that while it's a short week, I hope that we have an excellent week. Buying the dips, trimming or diamond handing the rips. But I think that, there's going to be a lot of upside for us in the new year, and I'm stoked for it. And so, yeah, I'm going to close it here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll have some more videos out tomorrow and a live stream next Sunday, if not sooner. So Happy New Year. Take care. Happy trading. I think it's going to be a great one for us. Have a nice night.